Hello class, welcome to Work-Based Learning Orientation. For those students who cannot be in my orientation due to scheduling conflicts, here it goes. I am Dr. Patterson and I will be your Work-Based Learning teacher for the year. My cell phone number is 678-778-3724. Make sure that's locked into your phone. Also, the best way to contact me via email is also on the screen, pattersonb@fultonschools.org. I'll be covering the orientation today to work-based learning, so everyone knows what you have to do, what is due at the beginning and the end of each month. The most important resource that you'll have is this website, www.northspringswbl.org. On this website, we'll have all the links that I mentioned during the presentation, as well as available jobs, codes, and resources. This is the agenda for today. We have a lot to cover. I'm hoping to get this tutorial done in less than 15 minutes. So I'm not going to go over every single thing. You guys can just read the screen or pause the video if needed. Number one is Roll Tracks. We use Roll Tracks as an app for web-based attendance. So as you know, due to the nature of my job, I either leave school every day at about 1 o'clock, but sometimes I also come to school late. So it's because I don't have a traditional class, we take attendance via Roll Tracks. Roll Tracks is a downloadable app that you're going to need to download from the iPhone store, the App Store or the Google Play Store. Once you download the app and open the app every morning, there'll be a QR code that appears on your application or your phone. Once you walk into the school, right when you walk in, where the televisions are on the right, there's a screen there, a monitor, and a scanner. You'll take your phone and you'll scan that QR code to take attendance. You'll know that you've taken attendance successfully when a picture of you appears or a check mark appears. Also, when you take attendance, there's a second screen, half of that screen that has a message section. In that message section, it'll be any messages that I have for you or the class. These are the steps to sign up for Roll Tracks. You'll go to the App Store, download it, click this on your phone. It'll have like a sign up for the class thing. You'll enter your information in. If there's an error message that says that the user already exists, just ignore that message. We're still in beta test mode, and I entered some of you guys in already. You'll receive an email. Once you receive that email, you'll use that email to activate your account. Then you'll log into the account and you'll join the account using this group code. That second digit is a lowercase l. It is not a 1. So the code is 9LY442 _. We'll use Roll Tracks to take attendance, and then we'll also be using it to do hours and wages and evaluations. We'll talk about that later in the tutorial. Edmodo. We will have the Edmodo code for the class is on the screen. I need you to change your name on Edmodo. On your last name, so for me it'll be Patterson. And, the period that I'm in needs to be in quotation marks, not in parentheses. So it's going to be, I would be Brian Patterson 7 if I'm in 7th period. If I had 2 periods of work-based learning, it would be Brian Patterson parentheses 6 7 close parentheses. Remind. The way I get in contact with you most likely will be through Remind. Make sure you download this app. The code is on the screen at Beef Patty. Appointments. I prefer to meet with students one-on-one, not in groups, to get more accomplished. If you want a 10-minute appointment with me, please schedule an appointment before 1 o'clock before I leave. It's the website to schedule appointments is on the screen. There'll be 1 to 2 monthly assignments that you'll have for the class. All the assignments are based on the Georgia Best soft skill curriculum. We'll either be using AES Learning or we'll be using a LearnKey. These are the codes for AES Learning. So you'll need to go to the website, learn.aes.education, create an account, and then you'll use one of these codes to sign up for the account based on what period you're in. Obviously, if you're in first period, you'll use the number 1. If you're in third period, you'll use the number 3, and so forth. If you're in multiple periods, use the first period that you're in. So if I'm in 6th and 7th period, I would use the 6th period code. Just like Edmodo, I'm going to use my name plus the last the periods that I'm in. So if I'm in 6th and 7th period, I would sign up and say Patterson 6-7. On-campus opportunities, I'm not going to go over this. Everyone knows what if you're on campus or off campus at this point. If you're off campus, your number one responsibility is not to get fired and don't ruin a placement. If you're an on-campus teacher aide, these are the things that you can do for the teacher. I'm going to let you pause the video so you can look at the things that you should be doing. Now, these are things that you're not allowed to do for the teacher. You're not allowed to go into their grade book. You're not allowed to go to the copy room. You're not allowed to go into their attendance system because we don't want any manipulation of students' grades or attendance. You will have power in those classes. You're the second person in command, so from time to time, because you're allowed to pre-grade assignments, students might ask you to say, hey, here goes $5, change my 89 to a 90. If you're caught doing anything surreptitious to manipulate a grade or attendance, then you will be suspended and you'll be kicked out of the program. Attendance. Make sure that you take attendance, you scan in for roll tracks every day before noon. I cannot go back and change attendance. So once attendance is taken, it's taken. So make sure you scan in before noon, no exceptions. Secondly, if you're an off-campus intern, the first day that you go to your placement, I need you to print off a copy of the school's calendar and give it to your boss. You need to come up with an understanding of what you should do on days that we do not have school, but they still have work. Schools have a lot more days off than businesses. So, for instance, schools might get off for Veterans Day or teacher work days and stuff like that, but businesses typically only get off for Christmas and Thanksgiving. You need to figure out, come up with an agreement with your boss from day one as to what you should do on days that we do not have school. Even after you come up with that agreement of what you should, what the agreement is, a week before a school-based holiday, email your boss and email me to remind them that next Friday or Monday we do not have school. And remind them of the agreement that you made. Dress as your coworkers dress. If you're off campus, if you're on campus, you're second in command of the classroom. So follow school guidelines. Do not be the person who gets dress coded once you're supposed to be an example for the class. Cutting class or any other disciplinary actions. If you get suspended, whether it be an on-campus suspension or off-campus suspension, you're kicked out of the program. Paperwork. Once you go to the website, www.northspringswbl.org, go to the Resources tab. This is the paperwork I need before you get sent to your placement. Number 1, I need you to print off Part 2 of the application, the employer portion. If you're on campus, then you'll still fill it out. Everyone fills out the same paperwork. So the employer, if you're on campus, is going to be North Springs High School. If you're and your supervisor and mentor is going to be the teacher that you work for, I'll be the school system representative. If you're an avid mentor, your employer is going to be Higher Dynamics, and your supervisor is still going to be your teacher. And if you're off campus, it should be obvious. Second, print off your training plan. There's a blank form for on-campus and off-campus training students. If you're on campus, use the on-campus training plan. Off-campus, use the off-campus. On your training plan, you should list, you and your employer should discuss 5 to 6 functions that you'll be doing when you're at the job. Fill that out and then bring it back to me so I can formalize your training plan. The syllabus you can read on the website, but then I need you to print off the syllabus acknowledgement form. So just a one-page form that acknowledges that you and your parents have read my syllabus. Finally, if you're getting magnet credit for this class, print off the magnet contract. Your grade is made up of these categories. I'm not going to cover them in depth. You can read the screen. The majority of your grade is going to be on employer evaluations, which is going to be 40%. At the end of each month, Roll Tracks will automatically send an email out to your employer asking them to rate you on the 10 soft skills. We'll use that, or we'll use a paper evaluation. But based on what your employers get back is how you'll be graded. Number 2, formative. So journal entries. At the end of each month, you will write a 150 to 250 word reflective talking about your experience, your work-based learning placement experience, as it relates to one of the Georgia Best skills. The Georgia Best skills are on the resources tab of the website. So you want to take a look at those tabs, those standards now. And finally, hours and wages. Using Roll Tracks, you will submit your hours and wages at the end of each month, and you'll also submit a copy of your check stub. It doesn't matter if you make any money, if you're on campus or not. Everyone writes how many hours they worked and how much money they made, even if that money is zero. And then homework. Homework is going to be the AES assignments, the 1 to 2 assignments that I assign at every month. All those assignments are online, or will be a LearnKey assignment, or an Edmodo assignment. Finally, your final exam. Your final exam is going to be a compilation of all those journal entries put into an electronic career portfolio. Your career portfolio will look like this, and you'll make it using Google Sites, and you'll share the Google site with me. It will have a tab for your career goals. I have specific directions, how to complete every single tab on this portfolio on Edmodo now. So you'll fill out your career goals, your updated resume, your references, any awards, galleries of the pictures. Don't worry about the senior project page, your journal entries, etc. And the contact me will be your LinkedIn profile. This is an example of the journal entries. This is an example of a typical post that's acceptable. And that's it. Contingency plan. If your on-campus teacher is not there for the day, you must stay with the sub. Do not go anywhere else. If your off-campus job tells you that they won't be in for the day, find out from them if they want you to come in, or you will go home. If you're an off-campus person and you do not have to work every day, let's say you're working 3 days a week, those other 2 days you must go home. You cannot be assigned work-based learning and be on campus. So during those periods that you assign work-based learning, you must be off campus. Name tags. I will print out a name tag for every off-campus work-based learning intern with your face on it and your period numbers. Once you leave the building every day to go to your placement or come in late from your placement, you must show that badge to the people at the front desk. There should never be an argument because it's your responsibility to have your badge at all times. If you share your badge with a student who's not in work-based learning or anyone else, you will be kicked out of the program. Work-based learning is a privilege, and everyone's not allowed to go off campus. And I do not want students going off campus who are not part of the program in my name. Reminders. I need that paperwork by the end of the week. Secondly, I send an email to everyone. I need everyone to send me a professional headshot. Not a selfie, but I need a picture of yourself in professional attire from shoulders up. Sign up for Roll Tracks immediately in course codes. At the end of last school year, I sent a list out to you and the counselors, and it showed what course that you're supposed to be in. The course code that you sign up for work-based learning is based on your previous transcript. Some courses qualify for HOPE GPA, and some do not. Make sure that the course code that you're in matches the course code that I gave the counselors at the end of last school year to make sure that you get the proper credit. As a side note, if it says work-based learning / a course subject, if it's life science, math, social studies, foreign language, etc., that class counts for HOPE credit. If it says work-based learning, entrepreneurship, or visual performing arts or graphics or something like that, then it does not count for HOPE. You must have taken the AP class or 3 years of foreign language to qualify for work-based learning, advanced academic placement, which is a course subject which counts for the HOPE GPA. Off campus. If you're assigned off campus, but you have not if you do not have a job yet, if I haven't secured a job for you, or if you have not found a job for yourself, because remember, it's a two-way street. You must find a job by September 1st, or you'll be an on-campus intern.